You don't need to do the music. We've got music this time. Mouth organ. Okay, people are coming in. People are tuning in. They can see us just bobbing our heads here, waiting for everyone to jump in. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us. It's Matt and Adam. It's 5 Drams of 5 regions. It's the virtual tasting you've all been waiting for. Wow. Hello, everyone, for tuning in. There's Matt's got his groove on. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Hi, Betty. Good day, everyone. Hi, Vincent. Good day to you. And hello, Betty Petrie. Always good to see you. And blah, it's doing this again. I assume that means it's not showing your name again, which is a very YouTube thing to happen. How are you, Adam?
I'm well, thanks. I'm ready for a dram from each region.
Oh yeah. Okay, good.
All 5.
Yeah. Let's give it a go, shall we? We'll yeah. See
how are
we
you?
go. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Yeah, it looks very sharp.
Oh, thank you. Yes, no. I for those playing along, I'm not. I don't normally dress up for the virtuals, as you know.
No.
Have you got a society hoodie? Is that a society hoodie you're wearing?
I do. That's because I love the SMWS.
Did I give you a hoodie?
Many years ago.
I don't remember that. That's great. I'm just going to quickly post this YouTube link in the group, just so we're all across it there as well. We're live. Oh, I can't spell.
It's LIVE.
We're live. Okay. Whew. Oh, what a day. What a week. What a year.
What a month.
Yeah, what a month. Hey, what a month. Because it is festival month. You can see the outturn. Yeah, the outturn's on the screen right now. It's festival month. And that's Mads on the right in the maroon jacket and with some guests from the society. But it's all about bringing on the face this year, bringing on the Flavor Hunters Festival, and sharing all 12 of these casks. Now you're hosting the 12 cask coming up, aren't you?
I am. So Tuesday at 7 p.m. you can tune in to it. It won't be a live broadcast because myself and Alex Moore's 12 drams over an hour is a lot to take in. So we did it. We pre-recorded it, but spaced it. Premiere. Yeah, we spaced it.
Yeah. You paced yourself. You spaced and paced yourself.
We spaced ourselves. Which is, that works.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get cracking into it. We've got 5 drams to get into tonight. It was cool to get a printed copy with my super box of tasting packs. Yeah. You got the full deal though, didn't you, Dave? Did you get the 12 or the 5 or both? Either way. Also, Whiskey is my jam is here, which is good to see. Good to see you, Mark. Thank you so much. And we're just going to get tucked into it. Now, you've got the box in front of you. You've got the full set, haven't you?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't actually have the box. No.
I gave you the virtual. Yeah.
No, you gave me the box. Like the 5 dram box or the full 12 box?
Dave said he's got both the 5 and the 12 because he's mad. Yeah, that's fair. Well, aren't we all a little bit? We're all a little bit mad.
Oh.
We'll enjoy a bit of madness at the society. Why not? And a few drams.
That's what we're all about.
Adam's got the samples. I've got the full size bottles, and I've pre-poured bits of each as we go along. And now we've had we've had one of these releases out already, and one of them has already sold out. But
There it is.
Here we go. Rare release number 5. We might just tuck straight into it. I'll just bring that up on the big screen so we can see it. Rare release number 5, Philosopher's Stone, celebrating the Lowland Festival. Indeed. Now,
I pre-poured this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and needed a bit of time, did it? Or
I think it does well straight out, but yesterday I had it straight out, and I feel like just maybe wanted to see what it's like with a bit of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's done a bit of something very good that I would call bringing out the more biscuity notes of it on the nose, at least.
Yeah, right. Let's just talk Lowlands as a region for a second. Let's just talk Lowlands. So, generally speaking, the Lowlands are always considered the softer, more floral, more approachable style of whiskies. And I wouldn't say this isn't that at all, but this one is definitely a little bit more. It's quite thick, quite full, but also quite. It's still got that lovely, delicate nature to it. Mark says R5 is the best 5 I've had through SNWS. So glad I nabbed a bottle. You're lucky that you did, Mark, because we got so few of this cask. We got I think 24 bottles in the country, and if you take out what we use at events and what we taste at in the virtuals like this, and the bottles we have to use for that, and it leaves very few. So if you did manage to nab one of these, congratulations. So I'm going to have a nose of mine. But whilst we're nosing this, folks, and it is a sold out release, there's not much I can say about grabbing a bottle of this, unfortunately. But what I will say is that it's, first of all, there's lots of reasons why the Lowlands are considered the soft and delicate and gentle sort of characterization. A lot of it comes down to distillation process, but a lot of it also comes down to historically the region historically used coal instead of peat. Fueling the fire of the drying process of the malt. So you see it's sort of that there's a lot of historical reasons behind the stylistic choices of these regions. But I like to think that Lowlands is going through a bit of a resurgence. We're seeing new distilleries pop up. We're seeing the what's the code for it? 150 something, the 156. Anyway, Glasgow Distillery. I'm sure I can say that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and 156.
Thank you. And other new distilleries, and even Code 50, which we've had a lot of over the society, but we're going to see some new 50s coming through in the next couple of years, which are very different again. Yeah, more Lowlands 50 and 22 would be awesome. You know what, Mark? I've got this theory that what you see in Unfiltered magazine is often a clue as to what we're working on. It's not always the case, but
I was going to say it's a sound theory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always the case, but it is often. It often rings true. Like if you get this, I saw a big article on Distillery 22 in Unfiltered a couple of years ago now, and I was really excited by that. I was like, so we might see some more Distillery 22 coming through, which would be truly amazing to see. I hear you just had a sip. I can hear your sips.
SMWS ASMR. Yeah.
You're welcome to host them. I'm not doing that.
Maybe not live. But
no, maybe please not live.
No, I did have a sip, and it's just, it's the same beautiful notes I got you. So it's sort of that like fragrant vanilla peach. It's just it's beautiful. Honestly, I want to say it's like a syrupy fruit party, but it's very close. It's very close to another 5.
Another 5 that we've seen, yeah, which was also fantastic.
It was fantastic, and there's juicy oak and vanilla as well. As you said, the 5s have we've seen a Lowland resurgence, but the 5s we've been getting in recently have been fantastic.
They really have been. We need more Distillery 51, Dave. I agree. We had some 51s through a couple of years ago, or maybe more than a couple of years now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. That were all sort of 16 to 18-year-olds from Distillery 51. Fantastic spirit. Love to see more of that coming through. Inch Dandy would be likely in the future. Yeah, probably likely. Yeah. There's a lot of new distilleries we're working with in Scotland. And is Fife considered Lowlands? Very good question. I don't know. I think so. It is the Lowlands. Five would be in Lowlands. So yeah, we'll definitely see some spirit out of Fife. Just is 51 is Eastlands. I don't think so. Yeah, it is. I mean, well, it's technically sort of technically Eastlands, isn't it? Lowlands, Highlands, Eastlands, Westlands. Yeah, but it's interesting to note. I think everyone will appreciate this. That the regions of Scotch whisky. Did you know as late as 2009, we only had 3 regions recognised? So we only had Highlands, Lowlands, and Speyside. Yeah, there was no Campbeltown or Islay region yet.
Is it 3 distilleries you need, 2 or 3 active distilleries?
I don't think it's so much. I don't know. I don't think it's actually a certain number. I think it's more to do with the just recognizing the different regions stylistically produce different styles of whiskey, which I think is great to see.
Do you think that there could ever be a 6th region in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Scotch Whisky Association would strongly consider something like that. Why not? I mean, the regions have been added before in the past. There's no reason why they couldn't be added again. I just can't get over that. Out of all the 5s we get, I always get this like vanilla bean ice cream, and like really clean, like like real artisanal vanilla ice cream. Like there's kind of like you walk into one of those Whole Foods sort of supermarkets and you see a 350 ml tub of ice cream for $22, and you go, "Who's buying that?" And then
you buy it.
And then you buy it because you want to know. Yeah. You want to know what a $22 micro tub of ice cream tastes like.
It's really that's what this thick. Tastes like. It's
yeah. That's what I mean. It's a very mouth coating and very lovely. The other 2 are protected localities. Yeah. Well, no. Hold on, Mark. No. Now, listen. Still only 3. No, I don't know. That's not true. There's 5 recognized regions, which we've bottled from all of these now. Mark, you're one of the hosts at the Melbourne Face. You saw all 5 regions represented.
Now, Matt, I'm going to say that emoji use indicates a shit stirrer.
And he knows how to get me.
I think Mark knows what he's about.
Vincent McKenney asks, would this be triple distilled? Yes, it would be, Vincent. In fact, it's from the only distillery in Scotland that continuously triple distills. There are other distilleries that play around with triple distillation runs, like Loch Lomond and Springbank and others, but it's this is the only one that is always triple distilled. So that gives you a pretty strong indication of which distillery it is, which we're not hiding behind. In fact, I'm going to zoom in on the screen here. Is another clue in the corner? Another clue. Oh, bit pixelated, but you might better make out.
Oh, it's much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, it's there's yes, it is triple distilled. Okay, Mark. Yes. Well, if we're playing semantics, then technically, yes, you are correct. But I'd like let's just call it 3 + 2 = 5. Yeah, he's going to get lynched at this point, especially if he starts discounting Islay as a region. I reckon there'll be some hardcore Pete heads that get very angry at that. All right, let's move along. Now, of course, you can drink these at your own pace, but Adam and I are going to talk about each one as we go along. And I encourage you to share your drams. They are 30 ml samples, so there's enough for 2 nice half serves of each in each bottle. And if you did get a little sample of this rare release 5, then lucky you, because you can't get a bottle anymore. Great question from Andy before we move on, though. Do you know if Distillery 5 starts with a lower ABV wash, or is there some other reason for triple distillation? Well, the reason is more historic, to do with how they always did it, and it was always meant to emulate that Irish style, because it was Irish whiskey was hot when was really big time when they kicked off, and so it was them competing with the Irish, and I think they always just had that triple distillation setup. In fact, the spirit comes off the stills at Distillery 5. really high. Like it comes off at 95% ABV because of that triple distillation, but then it's casked much lower. Good question from Mark. Did they ever double distill them at? I don't know my Distillery 5 history well enough to know if they ever did. I don't think so. If they did, it would have been for very short periods at different times, such as maybe during World War I or something. They ran it as a double distillation or something like that. But I don't think so. If they did, I don't think they advertised it as such. So it's hard to know. And record keeping at distilleries is hazy at the best of times, even modern history. And Graham, it's great to see you, Graham. Evening all, no drams in hand. No drams in hand due to work, but I've managed to swindle a break in order to join in live for a little. Looking forward to cracking out the tasting pack with the replay later. Graham, great to hear from you. Thank you for the comment. Really appreciate it. All right. Adam, shall we move on?
We shall. And this is my personal favorite from the 2024 rare releases.
Excellent. It is actually, as you know, I think mine as well, perhaps, maybe, possibly.
I have heard you say it on camera before, but I mean, so many drams. Who can pick?
So many drams, yeah. Look, there's 12 releases this year, folks, but there's a few that really stand out for both Adam and I. This one in particular, the rare release 39 Cross Atlantic Destinations, was a favorite of ours, a favorite of Whiskey and Elements, and a favorite of everyone at the festivals as well as tasting it. The bottles we brought with us to the Melbourne Festival sold out. We will have some available for Perth, which is tonight, I think. Yeah, Perth are on tonight, aren't they?
Perth is tonight, yeah.
Wait, Dave, are you going to the Perth event? Does that mean you have...
Dave unfortunately had to cancel, but he is getting the dram sampled for him. So,
okay.
Lucky you, Dave.
Lucky you, Dave. But look, I was wondering if Dave was preloading at 7 o'clock our time and then in 3 hours' time going to the tasting in at Terrarium. So no, it was out of all the 12 releases, this was definitely one of our favorites. In celebration of the spirit of Speyside Whisky Festival. So Cross Atlantic Destinations. I'm just gonna got that here. Yeah, wow. It's just so syrupy and
I was about to say that. It's
like maple syrup in a glass.
I was going to say like caramel syrup.
Yeah, right, caramel syrup, yeah. I'll share them around with non-members. I really appreciate that, Dave. Share the love, share the society love around with your friends. We always enjoy that. In fact, every month we run a little bit of a promo, don't we?
We do.
Referral program.
And non-members.
Exactly. And each month we normally see something through Outturn on that, and we love you sharing it around with indoctrinate more people to the SMWS. I'm not sure indoctrination is the right word for it, but I mean encouraging others to join is always good. We always appreciate it.
Depends how much you love the SMWS and how you view us, really.
That's true. It might be indoctrination. It might be. It's a bit culty at times, isn't it? I guess. I don't know. It's just. It's caramel sauce. It's spicy, but it's rich and there's this certain like really lovely mid palate to it.
Trying Melbourne. It says not coming to Taz events. Just have to buy a full bottle in Adam and Matt's recommended. That's right, Mark. You will have to buy a full bottle because of us. Look,
and I the only one I didn't get to try Melbourne. Okay, yeah. Well, the mere fact that you're able to knock over 11 others, Mark, and still remark on them is pretty impressive, mate. I won't hold it against you. That's great. Yeah. Now, the first one, Rare Release 5, has sold out. This one is available. Ta-da! Adam's face is now a QR code. Scan your phone on that square right now. So this one is still available, and we're really happy to offer this up because we did punch hard on this allocation. We got a fair whack of it, so we could share it with as many people as possible.
And fair call on that because it's still my favorite, I think.
It's only just been released last Friday, folks. I mean, they're saying Dave says there's still 61 left. It sounds like a lot, but seriously, once people start tasting things, we've got Sydney and we've got Perth tonight. We've got Sydney and Brisbane this Saturday. I think it'll move pretty quick.
And Adelaide as well.
Sorry, Adelaide. Let's not forget Adelaide as well. Of course, yes.
We've got 3 face tastings this Saturday.
Yeah. So I'll throw that queue up again. I can see a couple of people scanned it. It was good to see. Don't miss this release.
Now on the nose after taking a sip, I'm getting like that caramel sauce over raisin bread, like toasted raisin bread.
That's a good call. Stunning, says Dave. Yeah, Dave, this is honestly, I mean, we're not kidding when we say this is one of our favorites of the whole lineups.
Absolutely not.
In fact, I would go so far to say this is my favorite unpeated.
Of the lineup?
Yeah, of the 12 releases.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite unpeated whiskey.
So that means you have a more favorite peated whiskey.
No, not more favorite, just favorite peated.
Interesting. You won't be disappointed, Dave, with this bottling, as you probably tasted, but
yeah, it syrups up nicely. It works well in the glass after a while as well. Oh, dear.
When was the last time we had a 39? It wasn't that long ago, was it?
We had a spicy dry one about 9-10 months ago. That sort of was a bit of a sleeper on an outtone, just on one of the smaller releases. We didn't get much of that.
Okay. Well, it's nice to see it. I hope we get some more in the near future as well.
Dave's preempting my favourite peated by saying rare release 10 by any chance. It's a good guess. You've got a 1 in 2 chance of getting it right at the moment in this year's Islay Festival, I should say. Pardon me.
Rare release 10 is probably my favourite peated.
Yeah.
Of the 2.
Like it's in our packs tonight, huh? Lucky us. Pardon me. Okay. But yeah, let's just touch on Speyside for a minute whilst we're here. It's funny because Speyside is technically now Mark will enjoy this because he's been playing semantics on the chat. Technically, it is a sub-region of the Highlands. So you can have a distillery in Speyside, which means you're also technically a Highland distiller, but you can't have a distillery in the Highlands and call yourself a Speysider. So it doesn't work both ways. But Speyside is the most densely populated whiskey region in the world, and lays claim to just on or just over half the distilleries in Scotland, including some of the biggest names you've probably all heard of before. All your Macallans and your Glenlivets of the world are all there. And it's the reason it was so populated. It was abundance of water in the area, and it was from the River Spey, and the distilleries that use the water from their malts. And over time, of course, it was access to transport. It was the train lines and freight lines that were able to come in and out of the region over the last couple of hundred years to build the region up as so populous with distilleries. So if you are touring Scotland, it's one of those areas that you're always invariably going to end up at eventually, just because of how popular it is with distilleries, and you'll want to visit them all. But remember, most of them don't have visitor centres, and most of them are workhorse distilleries that are designed for blending whiskey, designed for Johnny Walker and Chivers Regals of the world. I'm pretty sure I have a few 39s. Yeah, Dave, I'm sure we've had a few through. We have. They are mostly I call them sort of sleepers on outturn. They're mostly things like you see some lovely, like 13, 14-year-old refill casks that come through. But Adam, we had a bit of a different cask makeup for this one, didn't we?
We did. So all the rare releases this year are small batch single malts, except for the Heresy, which is a blended malt from Speyside. But big emphasis on sherry casks.
Yeah, big emphasis, yeah.
So our partnerships with bodegas in Jerez and the Sherry Triangle are impeccable. We have put so much work and effort into them, and the fruits of those labors are incredible casks. So this one is made up of refill bourbon and first fill Oloroso and PX hogsheads.
Yeah.
And being that the outturns 1,460. It's probably only, what, 4-5 casks?
Yeah, it's not many. No, yeah.
It's not like, other single malts where it's hundreds of thousands of casks fatted together. These are genuinely like a handful of casks.
Mm.
And that's just so we can reach, our 40,000 members around the world.
Yeah, exactly. We specialize mostly in single cask whiskey at the society, but if we get to do some rare releases where we get to share the love around with members everywhere, that's even better.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show a sense of scale here. Sorry. Like this photo. That's the distillery there. That's a recent photograph of it. Just an example of how, it's not much to see. It's got its name on the outside, and it's quite a big workhorse distillery with lots of very factory sort of construction, but I still think it's quite beautiful.
It's quite nice. Does Link Distillery 39 have a visitor center?
No, they don't. Not from memory. They didn't last time I tried to visit. So but a lot of the distilleries are building them now to get some tourism through and people discover them. But they don't have a single malt. They don't have a core range single malt at the moment.
Okay.
And every time I say that, I have to preface by saying I'm not including Diageo's flora and fauna releases, which are sporadic and come every few years or reappear. But I'm saying, generally speaking, yeah.
Not a consistent every year same bottle release.
No.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Mark says Rare List 10 was very popular in Melbourne at the Islay protected locality stand.
Jesus. But yes, it would have been very popular.
Yeah, it sold out in the day. It did sell out upstairs. Dave, I think they've tried it. This great comment. I wish they would release an OB. I think they would if they could. But just like so much of their output goes to blenders. It's just, and they have, I think, tried doing OBs before with them, but the whole effort of building a brand around it when they have so many other great single malts that they but this is the thing, Dave. This is why you love the society. This is why you love independent bottling, because it's you get to experience these whiskeys that otherwise you wouldn't, like, they don't exist otherwise. And set your alarm for noon for sure will be popular. The RR10 will be popular this year. We should press on. We're going to run it. Yeah. Before we do, though,
got time.
Look at
that.
Look at this.
Ugh.
One of the rare releases this year. Yeah.
You're saying that if I was not a member, I could win.
That's right.
That's a 25-year-old Islay single malt.
Bottle valued at $1,295 or something. That's insane. The point is, we're giving 3 bottles of this away, which is insane. And all you have to do is you have to join the club. Now, it's not. I know most of you watching, if not all of you, are already members of the society. So this is a great opportunity to tell your friends about the SMWS, isn't it? It's like tell them, hey, join. You've got pretty good odds. You'll get a chance of winning this bottling. That's worth more than $1,000.
That's true, but also if you're a member and you tell your friend to join the society and they put your name in the referrers box, you won't get nothing. You'll get a bottle of our upcoming malt of the month for July.
That's true. That's also what we're running at the moment. I didn't have that one queued up, but it's true. The best way to find out is look at Outturn. That's true. All in Outturn. Dave, just encourage them. There you go. Think of Fred. Just give them a nudge. Say, mate, join, and either put your name in the referrers box, and they also get the chance to win this. It's insanely good this month. It's a good month to join.
And then you can both share it, because that's what the society's about. It's about sharing the love and the whiskey.
That's it. Not sure when I'll find out. Give them a nudge. Tell them, wake up. All right. Let's press on. Here we go. Rare Release 93.
This particular, as you know, I'm a fan of the 93s and the Orleans Coastals, but this particular one keeps getting better every time I try it.
Now, I remember you saying this. I remember you tried this, and I remember the first time you nosing and tasting it, you going, oh, it's not really, I've had other 93s I've liked more.
That's correct.
And then you tried it again, and you, like a week later or something, and you go, no, that's a lot better than I remember it. And then
I tried it last night, and
right, okay, yeah,
and again right now, and the nose it's pretty much everything I want out of a 93. Maybe palate just wasn't feeling it on that day I first tried it, but it's fantastic. It's like smoked bacon fat.
Yeah.
And that coastal sea salt. As I said, it's everything you'd want out of a 93 for me personally.
Like get that rosemary sea salt thing.
Oh,
like rosemary sea salt rub, like a.
It's like if grilled chips were on steroids, like the salty rosemary garnish.
Yeah.
That's a big call, Mark.
I took my eye off the chat for a moment. Hold on, let's have a look.
That's right. The peatiest SMWS oily and coastal 93 I've ever tried. That's a big call. I could name one that's a bit peatier, 1970s movie Dram, which came out 2 years ago now. But otherwise, this is definitely, and I think myself and Morsey were saying, which you'll see in the 12 Dram virtual next week, that this could go into that peated.
It could almost be peated profile. It's entirely first fill bourbon barrels. This one, 9 years old. Question from Mark though: Dimple a likely distillery 39 blend? Any others? Yeah, Dimple is. I know, but I'm fairly certain, Mark, that they use it regularly for Johnny Walker as well, and they use it else. I can't remember else they use it. There's one other one that I know they regularly. I think it's one of those ones that we don't see in Australia very often, like Hague or something. I don't mean Hague grain. I don't mean the David Beckham perfume bottle because that's all grain whiskey. But I do mean the Hague blended whiskey.
I thought you were talking about the chocolate.
No, Haig. The other Hague, the shorter Hague. Oh, it is too. Dave, you're right. Sorry, my blinkers are off on that at the moment. There's 4 distilleries that regularly go into Johnny Walker Green, and Linkwood is indeed one of them.
I might have to buy a bottle of this too.
Now, this goes on sale tomorrow. Is that right? Yes, tomorrow at midday. Yeah, tomorrow at midday, folks. Viking toothpaste.
Along with the Highlands.
Along with the Highlands, yeah.
So it's Highland week and Campbeltown week. 3 Highland bottlings, the 149, the 55, and the 4. And now the 93.
Yeah.
So they're on sale midday AEST tomorrow.
It just keeps evolving. It just keeps swirling and evolving. Like it goes from being immediately quite peaty, but then fast forward like a few minutes in the glass and it's become way more sort of coastal and way more like oily and almost savory instead of peaty.
And that's why we say, feel free to pause with these videos because sometimes you do really need a bit more time than we might take to sip these. We're on a timer. You're not. You have all the time in the world until bedtime.
I mean, or you can drink them live with us in the time we're doing them. I mean, 5 half pours in an hour is not bad. Linkwood, Cragganmore, Kalila, and what's the 4th one? Glenkinchie, I think. I can't remember. I want to know now.
JW Green.
Yeah, sorry, it's doing my head in. But there was something else. Like I think they still list the distilleries on the bottle. I thought they didn't, and then they did or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Talisker, maybe it was Talisker. Talisker, Linkwood, Cragganmore, and Kalila. Yeah. Blended malts have their time and place. We're doing a few more blended malts society, including Writing Bureau.
That's true, which also went on sale last Friday, and that was really popular at the Melbourne Face Tasting Festival. Oh. Seems like you were spot on with that Talisker call. Thank you, Dave, for looking that up.
Talisker, Linkwood, Cragganmore, and Kalila. That's right. So they openly admit they use it on green. I think Green Label's the only one that they actually talk about what the whiskies they put in them. Anyway. Pretty small outturn, this Viking toothpaste, 869 bottles worldwide. So it sounds like it was about 4 first fill ex-bourbon barrels.
Yeah, barrels about 250 litres, generally.
2 to 250,
250, yeah.
But that's litres, and then drop that down into 700 ml bottles. So it sounds about right. It could have been 3 generous casks or 4 sort of normal size. I'm tempted to get a bottle of Writing Bureau, says Dave.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so good. It's also the most. It's also an incredibly affordable 30-year-old whiskey, and it's if it had the word single malt on the bottle, it would be insanely cheap. But the fact
it's still fairly good value for.
No, it's insanely
what
good
it
value.
is at the blended value, blended malt, a 30-year-old, which is 3 firsts for the society, I believe. The first 30-year-old blended malt, the oldest blended malt we've done. The first blended malt we've done for a festival season, so a first rare release blended malt, and the first cask strength blended malt, correct?
Yeah, there you go. So it is a first of Writing Bureau. It's got 3 firsts attached to it. Yeah.
And, it's a historical purchase.
Yeah, exactly. It's a piece of history. It is. It's 30 years of. It's a 30-year-old cask strength blended malt. It's fantastic.
Entirely second fill.
Yeah, second fill. Yeah, second fill ex-bourbon barrels. Yeah.
You can find out more about the flavors for that one next Tuesday at 7 p.m. though on our YouTube channel.
The rest, including blue, are trash. Well, you might think so. Yes, I might just happen to agree with you. Yes, I couldn't possibly say that though. No, every whiskey has its time and place. I think.
That's true.
But some are better than others. That's just as simple as it gets. Dear, oh dear. Okay, how are we liking, folks? How are we liking that? That 93. It keeps changing in the glass for me. I really love it.
I'm a huge fan of this one. Oh, look, there's the distillery.
This is a distillery. It's a beautiful spot. Campbeltown's a beautiful part of Scotland. Campbeltown it's a bit run down. It's a bit blue collar and a bit definitely still has its roots as a shipping town, but it's a beautiful part of the world and some great whiskey. And of course, the Ardshiel Hotel. If you do go to Campbeltown, stay somewhere near or at the Ardshiel, because it's up there with Whiskey and Almond as one of my favorite partner bars of the societies. And just cool. phenomenal bar and great team. So yeah. All right. Do we shall we press on? How are we going for time, folks? Are we all enjoying it? No, I don't want to rush anyone, but
we're making good time.
We're good. Can't join live on Tuesday. I'll be on the way home from work. That's okay. We're not live Tuesday either. Dave, like I said, it's a pre-record that goes up on Tuesday because I think drinking 12 whiskeys on a live stream, live is probably a bit irresponsible. It's a big pack.
And we're not about that. If you have a look at the back of our bottles, it does say drink responsibly.
Let me look at the back of Viking.
If you will.
Viking toothpaste. Back of the bottle it says, not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. It's not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. It's not for shooting shots. It's not for drinking carelessly. It's for enjoyment, and it's for and it's I think it's something that is part of the ethos of the society, which we love sharing. We need a 3-hour live stream. Dave, do you want to?
that would be fun.
I've done them. If we remember the virtual pubs back in COVID, that full deep lockdown virtual tastings that went for 3.5 hours. They just wreck you.
But did you have 24 different drams over those 3 hours?
No, I had maybe like 7, 8, 9 or something, but it's still. It's tiresome. You're on camera for 3 hours.
That's true. Can't eat fried chicken on camera.
Dave, I won't say you weren't missing much, but you weren't. I mean, I could say that it's true. I mean, it's kind of like it was odd times. Let's put it that way. There was virtuals every single day. I think it was for a while there. It was live streams every single day. I still have people come up to me at some events and say, "Oh, I remember seeing you on Instagram Live, like doing like an hour-long broadcast every night." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, you just keep doing stuff because." You can't be out and about, and so you're stuck at home. So we just did a lot of broadcasting. We did a lot of broadcasting during COVID. Another lovely protected locality. Thanks, Mark. Really rubbing that in. AKA another whiskey region. But let's just before we move on. I know we're getting sidetracked again here. The Campbeltown region is definitely one of the more recently recognised, but it is the smallest of the Scotch whiskey regions. But let's just talk about the area for a second. Campbeltown region in Scotland used to have, at one point, as many as, I think the number's around 70. It used to be as many as 70 distilleries in the region. Now there's 3, or 2.5, 2 and a bit. But there's 3 distilleries in the region. But there used to be as many as 70. Of course, that's 1920. So we're rewinding about 100 years here, but when it was about 70 distilleries. There's reason why it was things like prohibition in the US, Great Depressions, and stylistically, the style of whiskey that came out of Campbeltown, which we're enjoying now, fell out of fashion. And everyone wanted clean, bright, unpeated whiskey and nothing too grimy or too dirty. People's tastes en masse change over time. And so at one point, it was by the 1930s, even just 10 years of production later, there were only 2 distilleries in the region, which were Glen Scotia and Springbank, and that was it. So it's a funny region that's been marred with problems and the tax man coming in and distillery, all these illicit distilleries closing.
So if it's only recently become a region, then what was Glen Scotia and Springbank whiskey classed as prior to Campbeltown becoming a region? Was it?
They've probably just been Highlands. They would have just been part of the Highlands, just sort of categorized as distillers within the region of Highland whiskey.
Big Highland.
Big Highland indeed. A great comment. Once I had 3 virtual whiskey tastings on one night during COVID. Yeah, it was manic. There's certain people as well that I remember who were, who were still in the trade today, but people like Scott Fitzsimons over at who was at the Oak Barrel at the time, who he was, I think he did this thing called Australian Whiskey Week live stream where he was streaming for like 8 hours every day for a week, just chatting with distillers, and you could tune in any moment, which was great. It's just like he was doing crazy stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, look, Dave, I can't stress to you enough just how weird COVID and whiskey was. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't. It was like literally 2 or 3 years ago.
Was Scott wearing his hoodie and cap?
The whole time. Yeah.
Good.
And drinking Pinot.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Like talking whiskey, but drinking big glasses of Pinot Noir. Talking whiskey. All right, let's move along. I'm getting bogged down on this one again.
Let's go into the big Highlands.
Let's go to the Highlands. Now, Highlands Festival is releasing tomorrow on smws.com.au. You're tasting it here before it goes live, which is great. We love being able to do that. It's unusual, in fact. Usually we're releasing a bit of this stock as we go each time we do these virtuals, but this time we're not, because it all goes tomorrow. It's all live tomorrow. We're really excited by it. And we're celebrating the Highland Festival. This is the OG festival, if you like. But what I love about this is that we could have chosen, the Spirits team in the UK could have chosen a very old school Highland whiskey. It could have chosen a distillery in the Highlands that's been around for hundreds of years to celebrate, the oldest region, which would kind of make sense. But what I love is that one of our main Highland releases, there's 3, as Adam articulated, but one of them is this Furtive Gherkin, Distillery 149. And this is, I said on socials, quite possibly the oldest distillate on the market at the moment from this distillery. That is the importer of this product messaged me earlier today and said that is incorrect. And I said, okay. And so there is a 9-year-old floating around somewhere. But this is just about the oldest you can find from this distillery, because the distillery only opened 10 years ago. So
it's definitely the oldest from us, from this distillery.
Yeah, definitely oldest from us. And we'll see some 9-year-old stock probably and some 10-year-old stock coming through from the SMWS in years to come. But Luke McCarthy from Oz Whiskey Review, who tastes has sampled and assessed more whiskies than I've had hot dinners. That guy tasted this and said it was just phenomenal, and I'm inclined to agree with him. I've got my glass of it here.
It's just got that like briny black olive, sort of, those like diced black olives you'd get on like pizzas, but if they were just in their juice still, like marinating. But also just like fresh, a very subtle layer of fresh grass clippings as well. Like it's got a bit of that grassy note to it.
Oh, I just get that like dill pickles and bread, like sweet and sour rather than the dill ones, but like the whole gherkin element is there, like that sort of like pickle juice and it's the best characteristic I've ever heard of this distillery is that it's very their distillate character is very old school. Like the whiskey they make, their core range, the indie bottlings we've seen around, and I've been lucky that I've been in whiskey long enough that I remember their what was called their AD releases that they used to release, which was before their single malt, which was all their sort of work in progress, not quite whiskey, spirit drink stuff, which was like their 1 and 2 year old spirit. And it was, it was phenomenal stuff, even at a really young age. And I'm sure their new make is delightful as well. I've not tasted their new make actually, but they're just being able to see 8 years later the result of what they've been working on and what our spirits team have been working on here. I think it's just a marvelously industrial, old school, mechanical kind of whiskey. This is the mechanical whiskey of the lineup, in my opinion. And it makes sense for the distillery itself is quite mechanical. It's quite old school in production.
When you say mechanical, like mechanical flavor notes, like that sort of greasy.
Yeah, like
okay.
but also it's old school in production. It's old school in things like rake tons and the way they make their whiskey is a bit like the whiskey of yesteryear. And it's but it's mechanical in taste as well. It's got that sort of like dry engine parts and the old patina of a like old leather patina. Metal shavings, and
it looks fantastic. As in the distillery, the bottle looks fantastic too. But the distillery, please show us the full bottle, Matthew.
No, please. Please.
Oh, okay.
A photo taken by Mr. Adamani. Oh, there we go. Oh, here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, just that's yeah. But it is a full photo of the distillery there. It's a stunning looking site as well. It's just beautifully nestled cool. On the western Ardnamurchan Peninsula.
Ah, it's the Ardnamurchan Peninsula, of course.
Yes, we can't say the name of the distillery overtly, probably, but we can say it's on the Ardnamurchan. No. And I'll do that thing again like I did for the first one we started with. I couldn't possibly tell you the name of the distillery.
No. But it's near the Ardnamurchan Distillery.
Peninsula. Wait, you said it's near the distillery? No. That sign is very near the distillery. Very near it.
Very near it. Yeah. Adam, you need to start your camera mirroring. Yeah, I know, Dave.
You don't like gherkins or pickles? Oh, Dave. Gah.
No, that's fair. Pickles are... Cornichons, on the other hand.
Cornichons. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Cornichons are fantastic.
Well, isn't a cornichon just a baby pickle?
Yeah, but it's the way it's presented, It's the texture of it. It's completely different to a pickle. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. It's.
I have a bottle of the AD 2019, I think. Yeah, I had a few of them as well, Dave. I had a few of those AD bottlings. I didn't keep them. I didn't hold on to them. I don't think they were worth holding on to or collecting. Or I tried a few of them. I opened a few of them, and some of them were quite nice. And I just remember being like, they were examples of showing real promise. And I love it when a distillery has the goal to do that, to show sort of work in progress, because it's definitely going to turn some people off. They're going to go, it's not really Adam, did your camera just flip?
Hang on. I was like, surely there must be a setting for this. And turns out there is.
There is.
So,
Look at that. Now we can see it.
Thanks, Dave. Because...
Yeah. It's kind of just, it's very cool. Great question from Andy. Andy, what's going on here? If we are judging the rare releases based purely on the distillate of each distillery and not cask influence, what would be your pick? That's a cool question. That is a cool question. Honestly, if we're just judging based on distillate only and not cask, I'm going to go with rare release 85 Freeform Jazz. Now, it's not in this pack, but I'm a huge fan of Wormtub Distilleries and the meaty, chunky distillate that they make. And I think Freeform Jazz, we had to pick obviously one from each region tonight, so we didn't go with that one, but is a personal favorite already. I like all these rare releases. There's no lie about that, but Freeform Jazz for me, I really liked because it's a great release. But I think the distillate from that distillery, if I was picking based on distillate only, I'd go with that one. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, my knowledge on distillate from all these distilleries is not quite as expansive as yours, but honestly, I'm just really impressed with Rare Release 5.
Yeah.
So, I probably, my answer probably doesn't carry as much weight, but the Rare Release 5 is fantastic. Like, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I hope that answers your question, Andy. That's a good question. In case you're dropping in and out of the stream for different people, we are currently on the Furtive Gherkin, but we're about to shuffle onto our next whiskey.
The Furtive Gherkin is going live on sale tomorrow, midday AEST. Grab it along with Rare Release 55 and very good, Andy, very good, and Rare Release 4.
In fact, you can preload the website here and just refresh it when you need it. Look at that. Oh, there's a QR right here again.
Right.
Adam's pointing to it.
No, because I've mirrored.
No, hold on. Wait, I'll make it easy for you, Adam. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, no.
No, that way.
Other way around.
No, wait, I need to angle that. Dave, you know what? This isn't working. Okay.
There we go. But what if oh no.
See how easy it is now.
See how easy it is because it's not mirrored.
I know. Now my camera's lit.
Oh dear. Lit. Yeah, okay, yeah. Andy, the kids are saying, yeah.
You'll be happy to know I did sneak that into the Rare Release 12 dram tasting. Are you still nosing the incredible Furtive Gherkin?
Yeah, I've got that here. I'm just going back to each of them as we go.
I unfortunately need to buy new glassware, so...
Well, that's how it goes. Okay. Yes, Andy, very funny. Yes. Okay. Let's press on. We've got whiskey number 5 to drink, and we've got you, our audience, waiting to taste one of the 2 Islay releases this year. Rare Release 10. This is going to be very popular when we release it in not tomorrow, but the week after. So the 29th. 28th. Friday the 28th, yeah. A small island off the southern coast of Scotland is home to just 9 distilleries. But it's known for its bold peated whiskies. We all know this already. And it's that decomposition of all that organic material that we love, and all that heather and moss and grass and peat bogs. And it's the peat that's often used to fire to malt the barley, to smoke the barley. And although there are some distilleries occasionally doing or regularly doing unpeated runs like Bruichladdich and Bunnahabhain and sometimes Kalila, there are other distilleries, of course, like Ardbeg and Ardnahoe and Bamore and Kilhoman and Lagavulin and the Frog that regularly do peated runs. But Distillery 10 is no stranger to our members in Australia, and we love this smuggler's bacon. And I think the words smuggler's bacon really do give you an insight into the flavour of this whiskey. Ooh, that is bacony indeed.
That's bacony, but I'm also getting a almost like a cinnamon scroll brioche like wave, a very subtle sweet brioche wave on the nose. This does have PX hogsheads in there, second fill.
So there's a bit of sherry, a bit of sherry, a bit of ex-bourbon.
This is definitely my pick for the Islay releases, and it's worth noting that both our Islay releases this year are heavily peated. There is no peated, there's no lightly peated.
Yeah, they're both in the heavily peated profile.
Betty, that's my style. Yep, that's also my style. Fair call.
Vincent says winner. Yep.
Oh,
yeah. The winner. Yeah. Better, we know you like your peat. Winner chicken dinner from Dave. Yeah, it's a banger of a whiskey. This one. It's we're very happy with this release. We're very happy with the smoke as well. The Distillery 29, because seeing whiskey of that age from Distillery 29 is a rare treat, and so
it's a rare release treat.
Do you get it? A rare release treat. You should do stand up.
No, thank you. I'd rather sit.
What do they call it?
Sit down comedy.
Sit down comedy. Yeah. I'm not really trying. I'm just going to sit down.
It's a more relaxed vibe, but everyone else, you sit down, but you make the audience stand up.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So only really the front row can see you, so it's okay.
Yeah.
How do I make the rules?
I just think them up and write them down.
It's interesting. I love this comment, Dave. I'm not a big fan of Distillery 29. You know what?
That's fair.
Dave, I'm inclined to agree somewhat. I got asked this question on a podcast I was on a few months ago, where it was like, "Oh, what's your favorite island distillery?" And I said that this one actually is one of the lower ranking ones for me personally. But I know for a lot of whiskey nerds and a lot of whiskey fans, it's one of the higher ranking ones. Sorry, I'm talking about Distillery 29, and I'm always just thinking, okay, that's I don't know. It's first of all, the core range from Distillery 29 leaves me a bit flat. But even Society Bottlings and others, I go, there's other Islay releases I would seek out first. Let's put it that way. And Distillery 10 is definitely one that I would seek out before 29. And other, of course, 33, and of course, other codes, 53s. I'll take a 53 over 29 any day.
That's fair. I mean, I had a very not so great introduction to Distillery 29's core range, a tasting that just left me very, I don't quite care for this spirit.
Well, Dave said the ID note icks me out. Yeah, it's not for everyone, is it? It's very iodine-y, their spirit. But isn't that kind of cool that like even on one little island, even on Islay, where you can drive from one end to the other in like I've driven it. I'm sure it's no more than 20 minutes, 25 minutes or something. But it's the whole island. I mean, there's the fact that there's 9 distilleries that produce 9 very unique different styles of an already niche style of whiskey. So you've got whiskey as a category, bourbons, rye, single malts, everything, and then you've got single malt, and you've got Scottish single malt, and you've got Islay single malt. Like, so even the fact that there's even within such a niche of the category, there's such differences, and I think that's so beautiful. And this is, by the way, I'm going to say it before Dave gets in here, this is a protected category of
before Mark gets in there.
Yeah.
But even just building on what you just said, I don't get any iodine when I have 29s. Dave clearly does.
Yeah, right.
I always get, I can't remember the name for it, but it always reminds me of my my auntie and uncle's homes. It's that mothball sort of note
Yeah,
always
mothballs.
in every
Yeah.
29. Sometimes very strong, sometimes a little bit lighter. And not that that's a bad note, but it's interesting that it just shows the diversity in everyone's palate at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The tasting notes are there as something you might taste, not something you definitely will, because everyone has a different palate. I love coriander, Dave. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
But I know it's a very divisive thing.
Dave writes, I would love to see a distillery 129. We have had some 129s through. Obviously, it already has a code. I have a 129 somewhere in my stash, but it's
I'm trying to remember what 129 is.
You have to quickly check the old Rolodex.
I think it is Islay, isn't it?
It is in Islay. It is, yeah.
And it does have another code, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then it's not. Oh, I'm thinking of 127.
You're thinking of 127,
Yes.
which also shares a code with 23.
Yes. So 129, I have not experienced or tasted. You have a bottle, you say?
I still have one bottle of 129, which was a 4 or 5 year old from that distillery. Yeah, it was very young spirit. But their spirit works fantastically at a young age. Starts with a K, cool. Adam. Starts with a K.
That's very true. I'm killing myself. I didn't get it.
I'm moaning myself that I missed that one. I wonder if iodine and coriander are related.
Homer references.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they are. There might be a similarity in that. I don't know. It's like people who have the. I'm almost envious of those who have the. I call it the sulfur blind spot. And we're very lucky. We don't see very many very sulfured whiskies anymore because the use of sulfur candles in sherry casks has definitely decreased significantly over the last couple of decades. But a lot of sherried whiskey from, I'd say, that was produced in the 90s and 2000s had a lot of sulfur going on. Some of them were shocking, undrinkably sulfured. But sometimes some people like that. Some people can't taste it, and others can't stand it.
This is glorious.
It is. It's one of those ones that it gets more and more like Sunday morning shortcut bacon and eggs in a glass.
It's like over steamed rice.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense.
There's some sort of like over steamed rice note in there. Can't quite put my
like a rice cooker that's been on for a bit longer than it should have been.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, rice cooker. This definitely rivals the single cask 10 that we had last year for 2023 Flavor Hunters Festival. Sound
of Singing Sand. Yeah,
that's the one. That was incredible. But this, even as a small batch single malt, it's absolutely glorious.
This is going to be popular on the 28th, folks. You're tasting something that hasn't been released yet. Is being featured at some of the tastings, some of the Feshiel and festival tastings around the country at the moment, but has not formally had a full release as yet. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, that brings us to the it's Dave's pick of the 5. Look at this. Wow, says Dave. It's truly phenomenal whiskey. And we're so happy that we got a good allocation of this as well to share around, but it is probably going to sell out pretty quick. And we're so happy we get to share this kind
of good allocation, about 90. So
probably, good.
But I would be surprised if there's any of this left after that weekend because.
Well, just remember, folks, we're selling them at the events as well. So I mean, they're going to be popular. And like I say, we've got 42,000 members around the world, and there's only 1,800 bottles of this. So not everyone gets to get one, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. Great. No, thank you, Betty. We love sharing these whiskies with you virtually as well as in person at our events and our tastings around the country. And we always appreciate Betty. You're a regular. So is Dave, and so are many of you who tune into these streams and buy the packs each month. And we love sharing the love with you. And Adam, thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you, Matt, for having me. It's fantastic.
And, no, thanks so much for sorting out some of the slides and all the other stuff that we do behind the scenes that we get happening before we go live. And this is my turn to feel a little bit less organized. But this is I had a photo, but then as I always like to do at the end of the virtual, is we started the virtual with a photograph of this month's Outturn cover, but then I like to tease next month's cover, and you're the first to see it. Here we go. You ready? You ready? Oh, I didn't even zoom in. Oh, look at that. Malt magic. Malt magic. Yeah, just zoom in. Yeah. So we got another Outturn coming, of course. Every month is Outturn, and July is on its way. But Outturn month, the rest of the month, I should say, the rest of June is still ahead of us. So, folks, thank you so much. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Betty. Thanks, everyone who tuned in. Thanks for your semantics, Mark Teague. Always appreciated. And we'll catch you all soon.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
We've got music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh. All right. Thanks, folks.
Have a good weekend.